The time is now. It's now time for International Falls Broncos fall sports action. From the gridiron to the volleyball court to the swimming pool, your International Falls Broncos are gearing up and ready to go this 2025-2026 season. Thank you to all the sponsors of the International Falls Broncos fall sports. And now it's time to get to the action. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. The gauntlet continues for your Little Fork Big Falls Vikings volleyball team. It is Thursday, September 18th, and it's time for the varsity volleyball squad of the International Falls Broncos to take on Lake of the Woods in their third game of this homecoming week for International Falls High School. We're live here on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM as well as on yourliveevent.com, getting ready for the action. Stay tuned. I got coaches' interviews and many more to come. And we're listening live from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College press box. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River, Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. As I said, got coaches' interviews coming up. Also got a couple of analyses coming up. And we have our national anthem as well, which is brought to you by local VFW Post 2948. Join us for burger night and karaoke. Throughout the contest, I'm going to be giving scoreboard updates, and those are presented by Packaging Corporation of America. And every timeout in today's game is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls for home professionally cleaned all year round. Call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you. And, of course, at the end of the game, we'll have our post-game player awards. Our Enbridge Energy Player of the game, the player who has the most energizing and energetic and amazing play of the game. And then, of course, our Domino's Pizza Player of the game. Looking for a quick, easy, and delicious dinner? Then look no further than your local Domino's. With more than just pizza, Domino's is the perfect carryout after the game, or have it delivered. Great deals are always happening at Domino's. 283-3444. Make Domino's your lunch or dinner destination today. In fact, I'm going to be getting some Domino's after this game. So really excited for some varsity volleyball action here on Homecoming. And so stay tuned for all that and more on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM and your live event.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
here with head coach Aaron Hall of the volleyball team for the International Falls Broncos. And for me, it's been 3 5-set matches in a row, counting the Rainy River team who played last night and won a 5-set match. And can we make it 4 in a row now?
I mean, that would be phenomenal if we could make it 4 in a row, and then even better if we could come out with a W.
Yeah. And so, obviously, Lake of the Woods coming in, they're going to be a strong team. How have you been preparing the girls in this break between Tuesday's game and today's game?
Well, yesterday we had a pretty short practice. We were mostly just, running through a few things. It was pretty light. I mean, game Monday, Tuesday, it's homecoming. There's so many things going on, and it was just, I'm trying not to overwhelm them with too much. Just enjoy it and do our best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and with it being homecoming week, obviously, like you said, there's a lot going on, a lot of distractions. So how do you try and keep them focused when they get onto the court?
Back it up a little bit. Sunday we had a team meeting to discuss how much is happening this week and to just kind of get it all out there and all on paper so we're all on the same page. So I was hoping that would really help, just kind of prepare for each day. On the court, it's really on them. They really got to dial it in.
Okay. Yeah, and so what's going to be the plan to come away with a win against Lake of the Woods today?
I mean, we're going to have to do all the things volleyball. We're going to have to serve well, serve, receive, block. They always bring some big hitters, so I know that watching their JV, they're pretty scrappy too. So they're a good team. They're always good, and we know that.
Yeah, and I remember Tuesday talking to Peyton and Mara. They mentioned that their serve receive was definitely a big improvement in that game. In fact, one stat I remember is apparently in that first set, you guys didn't give up a single ace against Ely on Tuesday. And so what is going right? What's been the biggest improvement you've seen among your team?
I think just them playing together, and we've been talking a lot about, trusting one another on the court, getting to where you need to be, fulfill your role, and I think that's been super helpful. We did serve receive pretty well. As long as we keep the ball in play and give ourselves an option offensively, then you can have a shot at winning.
And, I've been asking the players this because usually you just think about it being for the players, but how's homecoming been for you, Coach? Homecoming week.
I mean, I'm not even participating in all the activities, but I'm wiped, so I can imagine what they feel, and I know that they'll have had colds, and they're just passing it around. So we're just trying to grin and bear it and enjoy it and celebrate when we can.
Well, I'm really excited for today's matchup. I want to wish you guys best of luck, and thank you for your time as always.
Thank you.
And that was my interview with head coach Aaron Hall of the International Falls Broncos volleyball team. And their starting lineup for today is going to be the same one as Tuesday when they faced Ely in a 5-set tough loss. Neva Kokesh, number 2. Number 4, Peyton Grasshorn. Number 5, Cami Cronin. Number 9, Lauren Basaraba. Number 16, Charlie Swanson. Number 21, Chesley Scrine. And number 10, the libero for the Broncos, Mara Bowler. That is your Broncos starting lineup. We're going to be back in about a minute, and we're going to take another quick 30 to 1 minute break.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
I'm here with head coach Nylander of the Lake of the Woods Bears, getting ready for today's varsity volleyball matchup against the Broncos here in Falls High School Gymnasium. And so, how's this team feeling coming into today's matchup?
I'm excited. It should be a good game. We played once this week, and girls went 5, and they're hungry for a win. So it should be a good game. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, those 5 sets. They seem to be going around a lot in this part of the state of Minnesota. And so, what's been the biggest success that you've seen from your team this year?
Right now, it's been really fun seeing how our defense is going for everything. So having a defense that doesn't let balls drop, it's great. Like they're doing wonderful. So it's been really exciting.
And so going to be depending on the defense to get a win today, or expecting the offense to step up?
Our offense is when they're on, they're on. So I'm expecting offense to step up as well. So trying to put the whole puzzle together. Yeah.
And then what about the biggest improvement you've seen in your team?
It's been kind of getting everyone in the right spot. And so we have had more success in our offense as of lately. We're still looking to see that continue to grow, but that's kind of been where we've seen a lot of improvement, which is fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, the bus ride isn't as bad as the other bus rides you guys probably had to take for the season, of course.
Yes, no. This is an easy trip for us. Quick, no problem coming here.
Well, thank you guys for coming here, and wish you the best of luck, and thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you so much.
As you heard, that was my interview with the Lake of the Woods head coach, Nylander. And here is their starting lineup. Coming up soon, though, they're about to play the national anthem. Again, brought to you by local VFW post 2948. Join us for burger nights and karaoke. We'll be back after the national anthem.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
On Lakes Country. Right now, it's 63.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. And I never got a chance to announce the starting lineups for Lake of the Woods, so let's go through the Bears starting lineup. Number 1, Danica Luchek. Number 2, Kaylee Piper. Number 3, Brooklyn Berggren. Number 6, Ava Hack. Number 7, Jordan Mathias. Number 11, Kendall Bowman. And the libero for the Bears, number 4, Sophie Block. The team also consists of number 5, Ella Johnson, number 8, Hallie Holen, number 9, Gracie Hasbargen, number 12, Addison Olson, number 13, Jalen Lido, and number 17, Kate Martin. And so those are our starting lineups for both squads as we get ready for this homecoming matchup between the International Falls Broncos and the Lake of the Woods Bears. Broncos are going to be the team going left to right in the purples. Mara Bowler, the libero, wearing the yellow. The Lake of the Woods Bears are in their all-black uniforms, going right to left, and their libero in the white with the maroon number. And yellow and maroon stripes on the sleeves. And so, hey, I'm really excited for this one. Broncos, they had 2 really, really tough games before this one here today. As it was started off Monday, a 5-set win over Mesabi East. And then that was followed up by a 5-set loss to Ely on Tuesday. And so the Ely loss came from at Ely. So imagine having a really tough, hard-earned win on Monday, and then the very next day having to go on a 2-hour bus ride over to Ely, have another 5-set game, and then have to take a 2-hour drive back to home. Luckily, they had Wednesday off because, man, I do not know how these girls would be able to handle 3 games in a row, especially after the first 2 going to 5 sets. But me, on the other hand, I was at the Rainy River Voyagers volleyball game. Shout out to the Rainy River Minnesota North College press box sponsor. Rainy River, Minnesota North College. I was at the Voyagers volleyball game last night where that one also went to 5 sets, and that was a win for the Voyagers. So let's go get into the action as the starting lineups have been announced for today. Another special shout out to all of our sponsors. As you guys know, National Anthem at the beginning of today's game is brought to you by local VFW Post 2948. Join us for burger night and karaoke. And throughout the contest, every update on the scoreboard is brought to you by Packaging Corporation of America. And cheer going on in the Lake of the Woods student section. Had a nice little huddle going. Now they're getting ready to cheer on for their girls in the Broncos student section. Silence. Interesting. And so we have our substitutions, both liberos coming into the game for today. Referee just making sure everything is all set in fine and dandy. Luckily for that group of young men in the Lake of the Woods student section, they are not blocking the camera, so I don't have to be the party pooper and ask them to sit down. Now there's a substitution. Mara Bowler comes into the game for Cammie Cronin. Broncos are going to be the first to serve for today's game. It's going to be number 16, Charlie Swanson, starting things off for the Broncos. She's going to serve it. That's going to be out of bounds. So Lake of the Woods will be the first to score in this contest. So they take a 1-0 lead over the Broncos after the service error by Charlie Swanson. Serving for the Bears is number 2, Kaylee Piper. Swanson sets it up. That's Chesley Skrine, blocked by the Bears front line. Now that's number 11, Kendall Bowman, goes for the attempt. No good. Grasshorn gets the point and the kill for the Broncos. Now tying it up 1-all on the PCA scoreboard. Peyton Grasshorn had a huge game on Tuesday. 7 kills, leading the Broncos offensively. Now it's Lauren Bastaraba serving for the Broncos. Tied 1-1 on the PCA scoreboard, and that goes out of bounds, so that's going to be another service error. Broncos early struggles with services. Quick substitution. Libero number 4, Sophie Block comes out, and coming into the game was number 11. Excuse me, wrong player. Neva Kogish with an attempt, no good. That was Danica Lucic, and they're going to say it was a foul. I didn't see if there was a net foul or not, but that's a foul against Lake of the Woods, so that's going to be a point for the Broncos. 2-all on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Skrine serves. That's to dive by Piper, keeps it in play, and Lake of the Woods able to send it over, but that goes out of bounds, so that's going to be a point for the Broncos. Taking the lead now, 3-2 on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Skrine serving for International Falls. Skrine sends it to the back row. That's Piper. And miscommunication, Danica Lucic lets the ball go, thinking it might go over. It was a very, iffy choice there, but I can see why it was a close call for her. Chesley Skrine with the serve for the Broncos, and that goes out of bounds, so that's a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears. So far, all 3 of the points for Lake of the Woods have come from service errors on the Broncos' end. Quick substitution coming out of the game, number 7, Jordan Mathias. Coming into the game is number 8, Hallie Holen, who's going to go to the back line and serve for the Broncos. Sends it to the back row, Mara Bowler to Swanson, over to Kokesh, who's able to send it over the net, just passing it. Now they're going to set it up. That's an attempt by Kendall Bowman, and they're going to say that is Broncos' point. So now we have a miscommunication because for a second we had one judge say it was Broncos, the other one say it was the Bears. So they're going to give the point to Lake of the Woods. Broncos going to have to just pass it back to the Bears after the pass. Now it's Bowman sending it across. Swanson sets it up for Kokesh, who sends it over the back line. That's a point for the Bears. They take back the lead now, 5-4 on the PCA scoreboard. Shout out to those of you watching on yourliveevent.com, and thank you for listening on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM. If you're trying to listen on our app, I'm sorry, the stream from the last time I checked is still currently down. Sets it up, that's Grasshorn trying to go for the back corner, received by Sophie Block. Cami Cronin sets it up for Grasshorn again, and that time, it's gonna be good. Peyton Grasshorn gets a kill, and she ties it up for the Broncos once again. 5-all on the PSA scoreboard. It will also be Peyton Grasshorn who is gonna serve for the Broncos. Special shout out to the Little Fort Big Falls Vikings football team, who instead of having a Friday night lights this week, they're having a Thursday night lights against North Woods. Kill attempted by Lake of the Woods goes out of bounds. That's a Bronco point. They take the lead now 6-5 on the PCA scoreboard. Grasshorn to serve again. And so at this very moment, the Vikings football team for Little Fort Big Falls is playing against North Woods at North Woods. And as I was talking about that, Peyton Grasshorn just got herself an ace to take the lead now 7-5. Or extend the lead 7-5, excuse me. Lake of the Woods, they aren't able to get their offense set up. That's going to be point for the Broncos. Now 8-5. Looked like they were trying to set up Kendall Bowman. She switched from going for the kill to trying to pass it over and hits the net. Grasshorn with the serve. Piper with the receive. That's Bowman. Sends it over the back line. That's another point for the Broncos. And International Falls getting a hot start here after a close back and forth battle between Lake of the Woods and themselves. Attempt by Brooklyn Bergeron. That goes out of bounds. That's another point for the Broncos off of an error on Lake of the Woods. So Peyton Grasshorn once again to serve. Or no, actually they gave the point to Lake of the Woods, so that's a point for the Broncos. I guess it was a net foul against the Broncos, so that point goes to Lake of the Woods. So it's now 9-6. Broncos lead on the PCA scoreboard. Neva Kokish was the one the net foul was against. She's asking how it was a foul, and they gave her the reasoning. Still having a quick discussion with the front table. Serve for Lake of the Woods. That was Bowman. They're going to set it up. That's Rasmussen who got subbed into the game. Now Danica Luchek. Over to Piper. Kaylee Piper gets the kill for Lake of the Woods. And now it's a 9-7 game. Broncos still up by 2. But Lake of the Woods trying to climb back after a quick lead by the Broncos. Kendall Bowman with the serve. That's Cami Cronin, but that's going to be off the net, so that's a point for Lake of the Woods. Now it's 9-8. Lake of the Woods starting to rally. Received by Bowler, ends up passing it right back over to them. Now they're going to set it up. Miscommunication, accidentally set it behind herself, so they're going to have to go for the pass. Kokesh pushes it over. That's going to be Luchek over to Piper. No good. 50-50 ball. And that's going to be a double hit called against Neva Kokesh. For a second, she was hoping she'd get away with a possible transition from a block to a hit, but that was called a double hit against Kokesh. Now it's tied game, 9-all. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to be Cami Cronin. Cami Cronin gets the kill for the Broncos. They take it right back, and now that's also going to be the Broncos taking the lead, 10-9. Broncos already looking to be another tight contest here in Falls Gymnasium. Neva Kokesh served for the Broncos, received by number 8 of the Lake of the Woods Bears, Hallie Holland. Rasmussen with an attempt over, sends it to Bowman. That's Luchek over to Piper. And that's going to be off the net. That's going to be a point for the Broncos. They're going to say that's 4 hits, untouched by the Broncos blockers. So International Falls now up 11-9 on the PCA scoreboard. Neva Kokesh serves. She sends it over to the libero, Sophie Block. Luchek sets it up for Piper. Piper goes for the kill, but a little too short on it. That's going to be a point for the Broncos off of the missed attempt. Seems like the offensive of Lake of the Woods is focused on Kaylee Piper. as well as Kendall Bowman. Piper, speaking of, passes it over, it goes too far. It looks like for a second Mara Buller was about to receive it, and then her teammates are like, no, let it go. And she let it go. Call her Elsa now. And that goes out of bounds. Point for the Broncos, 13-19, served by Kokesh. Broncos still rallying here. That's Brooklyn Berggren who sends it over. Low dig by Kokesh. Grasshorn over to Cronin. No good, received by Block. Now that's Piper with an attempt. Dive by Grasshorn. Cami Cronin sets it up for Basaraba. And that's on the line. That's a Broncos point. And a kill for Lauren Basaraba. Broncos now extended 14-9 on the PCA scoreboard. A 5-point lead here. Broncos are on fire in this first set after a close back and forth. And for a second, almost allowing Lake of the Woods to rally. Piper over to Block, able to just pass it over. Grasshorn sets it up. This is Rasmussen with an attempt. Sends it over the blockers. Received by Bowman. That's Luchek over to Piper once again. Mara Buller receives. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Mara Buller who passes it over. Now Block over to Luchek. Sets it up. That's going to be Brooklyn Berggren going for the kill. And she's able to get it off of the tipped out of bounds by the blockers. Point for Lake of the Woods and kill for Berggren. Looks like they able to pull off the fake by making it seem like it was going to Sophie Block, and Broncos able to rally around the ball and get it over bounds. Lake of the Woods still trying to fight back. Grasshorn sets it up. This is going to be Basaraba off the tip of the blockers, and that's going to be Ava Hack trying to make a play at the front row. Rasmussen sends it up, and that's Rasmussen getting the point. A great dive by the Lake of the Woods Bears defender, but accidentally sending it out of reach of her teammates. So Cameron Rasmussen gets herself a kill, and the Broncos get themselves a 15-10 lead, back up by 5. Serving was Cami Cronin. Lake of the Woods just able to pass it over. That was Ava Hack who passed it. Grasshorn over to Rasmussen. That was received by number 8, Holland. Cami Cronin with the receive. Grasshorn over to Basaraba. Bit of a low set, though, over to Basaraba. So that's why it ended up hitting the net. Quick substitution. Cronin out. Buller in. 15-11 on the PCA scoreboard. Also subbed into the game for Lake of the Woods is number 7, Jordan Mathias. She goes to the front row. And that's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods Bears after the service by number 1, Danica Luchek. Little 50-50 on whether to consider that a ace or not, as the Broncos were able to touch it 3 times, just weren't able to get it over the net. That's going to be no good for the Broncos on the attempt by Chesney Skrine in the front row, so that's a point for Lake of the Woods. Now 15-13 on the PCA scoreboard. Service by Luchek. That's received by Buller. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Basaraba who passes it over. Received by Bowman. Now they're going to set it up for Piper. Piper received by Kokesh. Grasshorn over to Skrine. Skrine trying to left-hand it, but it goes out of bounds. The angle and trajectory just a little off. Hits it just a little too hard, and that sends it out of bounds. Point for Lake of the Woods. Now 15-14 on the PCA scoreboard. Another rally by the Bears. And Grasshorn able to pass it over for the Broncos. Almost put themselves in trouble. That's an attempt by Hack. No good. Marabola keeps in play, and Broncos send it over. Dive by Block. She ends up sending it right back to the Broncos. Now Chesney Skrine's going to get an attempt. She's blocked, but that goes out of bounds. Broncos get the point after an attempted block by Ava Hack. Quick substitution coming into the game. Charlie Swanson subbing in for Cameron Rasmussen. It'll also be Swanson who will go back to serve for International Falls. Charlie Swanson, the first one to serve for the Broncos in today's game. Sends it over. That's received by Block, and that's an ace for the Broncos. Number 16, Charlie Swanson. Broncos get their second ace of the game. Able to aim that right in front of the bump by Sophie Block, the libero for Lake of the Woods. Luchek sets it up. That's going to be Mathias who sends it over. Broncos receive and just going to have to send it over. looks like miscommunication. Moribola tried to just go for a light hit, went a little bit lower than she intended. It accidentally bounced off of one of her teammates. That was Lauren Basaraba. So that's going to be 17-15 now. Lake of the Woods down by 2. Service by Kaylee Piper. Chesley Skryan trying to come around and get the kill. That's going to be off the net. So now it's 17-16. Lake of the Woods trying to tie it up once again. Not fully out of this game. Broncos only able to get a 5-point lead at the maximum against the Bears. Kaylee Piper with the serve. Swanson sets it up for Basaraba. That's blocked by Berggren. Immediately, Basaraba able to get a hit on it after the block, but that goes out of bounds on Lake of the Woods side of the net. So that's going to be a point for the Bears. And that's also going to be a tied game now on the PCA scoreboard. 17-all. Serving is Kaylee Piper. Mara Buller receives the serve. Swanson sets it up. That's Basaraba blocked. Basaraba again, and that is, for a second I thought that was going to be a double hit, but I guess not. So that's a point for Lake of the Woods as Berggren ended up getting 2 blocks in a row, one of them eventually leading to a point for the Bears. Service by Piper. That goes out of bounds. Broncos catch a break after the lead was gained by Lake of the Woods. Now it's lost. It's tied 18-all. Quick substitution by the Broncos as they're going to sub in number 19, Morgan Morin DeMars. She comes into the game for Lauren Basaraba. Morin DeMars is also going to be the one going back to serve for the Broncos. Set number 1, tied 18-all between the Broncos and the Lake of the Woods Bears. I realize I forgot to switch from my pregame setup to my main game setup, and that's going to be a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears to take the lead back. I was wondering why my screen was looking a little strange there. It's because I forgot to change it from pregame to game time. That's on me. My apologies, folks. Now, Bears lead 19-18. That was Ava Hack with the serve, and that's going to be Ava Hack also getting a point as the Broncos aren't able to send it back over the net. Quick substitution. Lauren Basaraba comes back into the game for International Falls, and she goes to the back row for the Broncos. Service by Ava Hack goes out of bounds, though. So that's going to be a point for the Broncos now. 20-19. Broncos down by 1. Attempt by Bowman. Slightly tipped by a blocker. Now Broncos have a chance. That's out of bounds. Kokesh on the hit and sending it a little too far out. And so Lake of the Woods Bears back up by 2, 21-19. Going back to serve is Hallie Holen, number 8 for the Lake of the Woods Bears. Holen serve, that goes out of bounds. That's a point for the Broncos now, 21-20. Broncos down by 1, looking to try and rally. Quick substitution coming into the game, number 18, Cameron Rasmussen. She's subbed in for Charlie Swanson. Serving for the Broncos is number 4, Peyton Grasshorn, and that's going to be too low off the net, so that's 22-20 lead for the Lake of the Woods Bears as they get ready for their serve by Bowman. Bowman serves, received by Bowler. Grasshorn sets it up. This is Cronin who tries to send it to the near side corner. No good. Bears able to just pass it over. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Rasmussen trying to send it to the back row. No good. Now that's Piper with an own attempt. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Kokesh off the blockers. Kept in play by Piper. Now they're going to set it up for Piper. Piper no good. Received by Grasshorn. Now this time they set it up for Kokesh again. Dive by Sophie Block. And that's going to be a point for the Broncos thanks to Neva Kokesh. Broncos down by 1, 22-21 on the PCA scoreboard. Trying to come back in this one. Neva Kokesh, the one to maybe get the job done. She serves it. That's going to be an ace for Kokesh. So far, Neva Kokesh, great way to start off her services in this upcoming rally with an ace. So Broncos now tie it up 22-all on the PCA scoreboard. Serve by Kokesh. That's another ace Back-to-back aces for Neva Kokesh to take the lead for the Broncos. Same spot as last time. Number 8, Hallie Holing gets subbed out coming into the game. Number 7, Jordan Matthias. Broncos up by 1 point, 23-22. Kokesh with the serve. That's received by Matthias. Matthias diving, putting her life on the line for that one. Cameron Rasmussen with an attempt. Tipped by a blocker. It's somehow kept in play. But no good as the Broncos get the point, and we're going to get a timeout called. And that timeout called by Coach Highlander of the Lake of the Woods Bears. And what a play by the Broncos. I'm trying to figure out who got the kill on that one. My eyes are deceiving me slightly. But hey, this timeout is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls for a home professionally cleaned all year round. Call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Yours truly, August Schmidt here live from the Rainy River Press Box. Broncos up by 2. Set point right here in the hands of Neva Kokesh serving for the Broncos. Piper with an attempt, no good. Broncos trying to set it up for Cami Cronin, and that's going to be Cronin getting the point. Cami Cronin helps the Broncos take set number 1, 25-22 to take a 1-0 lead against the Lake of the Woods Bears. And what a play by the Broncos. What a point by Cronin to take that final point and take the first set. And now they lead early in this contest, and they're going to get ready for set number 2, where they're going to have to keep this momentum going as they go into set number 2. Lake of the Woods Bears, though, are showing a lot of gusto and a lot of scrap in them. And so, hey, we're going to be back after a couple of minutes. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as on YourLifeEvent.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
Best care doesn't.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River, Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. This is yours truly, August Schmidt here, presenting you on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM and YourLiveEvent.com. A 1-0 lead for the Broncos in sets as they took set number 1, 25-22. And so now they get ready for set number 2. Lake of the Woods Bears are going to be the first to serve. Danica Luchek serving for Lake of the Woods. As she sends it to the back row, Chesney Scrine goes for an attempt over. That's going to be number 7, Jordan Mathias, setting it up for Piper. Swanson over to Basaraba, sends it towards the back corner. No good, received by Sophie Block. That's going to be Hack sending it over. Chesney Scrine sets it up for Grasshorn, and Grasshorn, much like set number 2, Peyton Grasshorn, would end up getting the first kill and the first point of the set, as the Broncos take a 1-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard. Chesney Scrine leading the team with 3 kills. That's Luchek over to Hack, unable to get it over the net. That's another point for the Broncos. 2-0 lead now on the PCA scoreboard. Lauren Basaraba serving for the Broncos. Basaraba sends it over. That's Sophie Block with the receive. Piper over to Mathias. She's able to pass it over the net. Now they're going to set it up for Kokesh, tipped by the blockers. That's Sophie Block over to Hack over to Mathias, and Mathias gets the point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, getting a kill. Jordan Mathias, by my accounts, they may or may not be wrong, her first kill of the night. So Broncos up by 1 on the PCA scoreboard, 2-1. Kokesh, speaking of 2, little low with her attempt. That's going to tie the game up at 2-2 as it hits the net. And Kaylee Piper goes back to serve once again. She has been the one that the Lake of the Woods Bears seem to be setting up a whole bunch throughout this game. Broncos avoid the ace, and Peyton Grasshorn send it back over. Now it's the Lake of the Woods Bears who got to avoid it, and they're going to say number 4 of the Bears caused a net violation, so that's going to be a point for the Broncos. They're going to make a quick substitution and put Chesney Scrine behind the line to serve for International Falls, received by Bowman. That's going to be set up for Mathias. Mathias unable to get the point, and Neva Kokesh trying to get a simple bunt over the net, and that leads to a point for Lake of the Woods as it goes out of bounds. Quick substitution coming in. Brooklyn Berggren going to serve, and number 6, Ava Hack. Hack with the serve, received by Basaraba. Miscommunication between Mara Boy and Peyton Grasso, and that leads to a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, 4-3. And I think that might be considered an ace for Hack. That, if not that, that one certainly does count as an ace for Hack. So Ava Hack with an ace. And Lake of the Woods now take a 5-3 lead on the PCA scoreboard. Hack with the serve. That could be another ace, but thankfully Swanson able to slide and get just in time. But they're going to say that number 4, Peyton Grasshorn, caused a net violation. So now it's 6-3 on the PCA scoreboard. Ava Hack with the serve, looking for another one. Too much muscle, though. That goes out of bounds. And now it's 6-4 on the PCA scoreboard. And so Broncos serving, number 4, Peyton Grasshorn, down by 2 on the PCA score. That's going to be set up for number 3, Brooklyn Berggren. And Lake of the Woods take it right back, 7-4 now on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitution coming into the game, number 8, Hallie Holing, subbed in for number 7, Jordan Mathias. Mathias sends it to the back row. That's Neva Kokesh to Grasshorn. Over to Rasmussen. Rasmussen trying to avoid a net foul, but that will be a net foul as Rasmussen had so much momentum in her jump, she accidentally flew into Brooklyn Berggren of Lake of the Woods. And so good on Rasmussen, immediately recognizing, like, yeah, that's my bad, you guys. That definitely will be against me. And so Lake of the Woods now up by 4, 8-4. Mara Buller, the libero, trying to go for a long distance kill. That's going to go out of bounds, so that's a point for the Broncos. And head coach Aaron Hall is going to call a quick timeout and try and get her team locked in for today. The score on the PCA scoreboard is 9-4, and this timeout is brought to you by Service Master of International Falls.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Yours truly, August Schmidt here, live on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com. Lake of the Woods Bears lead 9-4 on the PCA scoreboard. Hey, shout out to all of our sponsors. Before the game, we had the National Anthem, which is sponsored by local VFW Post 2948. Join us for Burger Night and Karaoke. Thank you guys for sponsoring the National Anthem. Rasmussen trying to punch it over. They're going to say that was against the Broncos. 4 hits. A little iffy on that one, but I'm not going to complain. I can't complain. I'm just the announcer. So once again, going back to serve is number 8, Hallie Holland, who's been leading the charge on this rally by Lake of the Woods that has continued. Neva Kokish is going to try and just lob it over. That's set up. Luchek over to Bowman. Bowman gets blocked, and that's going to be a point for the Broncos now, trying to climb back in this one. 10-5 on the PCA scoreboard as they send Neva Kokish back to serve for the International Falls Broncos. Neva Kokish with the serve. That's going to be set up for Luchek, who sends it to the back corner. That's Kokish once again to receive. Grasshorn to Rasmussen. Rasmussen accidentally sends it out of bounds. That's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods. 11-5 now on the PCA scoreboard. Serve by Bowman. And that's going to be an ace for Bowman of the Bears. So now Bowman gets her first ace. 12-5 on the PCA scoreboard. I will say stat line a little bit barren on both sides of the court, as most of the points from either side have been from errors and less from kills and aces. Though that's another point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, as an attempt by Cami Cronin goes out of bounds. Kokish to receive. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Basaraba who's able to send it over. Luchek sets it up. That's Piper with a kill off the blockers, and that goes out of reach of a diving Peyton Grasshorn, and that's going to be another point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, and a kill counted for Kaylee Piper. Kaylee Piper, she's the one that they've been trying to set up for so long throughout this game, and they got her one. Bowman to serve. Quick substitution, Cameron Rasmussen comes out, and Hadley Whitbeck comes into the game. They're able to pass it over. Now it's going to be number 3, Brooklyn Berger, trying to come around Danica Luchek after her set and get the kill, and I guess they're going to award it to her, as they're saying violation against the Broncos. So that's another point. Lake of the Woods now up by 10. A double-digit lead. Broncos in trouble here as Whitbeck sends it over the back line. So that's a point for Lake of the Woods. Once again, the rally continues here in set number 2. Broncos down by 11. And speaking of 11, number 11 is back to serve. Bowman to Kokesh. Grasshorn sets it up, and Cronin sends it over. Now Luchek sets it up. That's Piper on the attempt, received by Kokesh. Grasshorn over to Basaraba, passes it over. Now Luchek sets it up, and Bergeron having to just bunt it behind her head, and that's going to be Cronin's attempt going off the net. Another point for Lake of the Woods. They're up by 12 now. The rally is going and going and going and almost gone. A quick substitution. Eliana Koenig comes into the game. She subbed in for Cami Cronin of the Broncos. Serving is Bowman once more. Kokesh over to Grasshorn, sets it up for Basaraba. Basaraba lightly hits it over the net. That's going to be set up for Piper, but that goes out of bounds. And Lake of the Woods is trying to say it was tipped by a Bronco, but they're going to give the point to the Broncos still. So that's 17-6 lead on the PCA scoreboard in favor of the Lake of the Woods Bears as they send Eliana Koenig to the back line to serve. Now they're going to set up. That's Piper. And then Broncos unable to get it over the net in 4 hits. So that's going to be another point after the error on the Broncos side of the court. Subbed into the game is number 6, Ava Hack. Back to serve, number 4 is Sophie Block, the libero. Peyton Grasshorn over to Skrine. Skrine sends it over to the Bears. Now it's Luchek over to Hack. Hack trying to go around and get the kill. Instead, the Broncos are just going to pass it back to them. Hack sets it up. And no, excuse me, that's Holand. Dive by Grasshorn, able to send it over. Kneeling and digging is Piper. That sets up a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, number 1. Danica Luchek, and now Lake of the Woods up 19-6. Broncos hitting a rut here in set number 2. Not sure what happened. They just lost their rhythm in the set, and Lake of the Woods have an opportunity to tie the game up. Broncos with a chance to keep it in play. They do. Eliana Koenig, the one to pass it over the net. Now that's going to be set up. Look like it's supposed to be set up by Ava Hack. Hadley Whitbeck tried to get a hand on it, and that ended up bouncing off the net and onto the Broncos side. And head coach Erin Hall is going to have to use her last timeout of set number 2. And down by 14, 20-6 is the current score on the PCA scoreboard. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM and on YourLiveEvent.com. This is a Service Master timeout.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Welcome back to the Rainy River Minnesota North College Press Box. Lake of the Woods Bears up 20-6 against the Broncos. Broncos trying to climb back. It is a huge climb that they have to make, though, as Grasshorn sets it up. That's Chesley Skrine going to pass it over. Hit bunted by Luchek, and that's going to be Piper with an attempt. And that's going to be the Lake of the Woods Bears getting the point after a off hit by Lauren Basaraba, a rare one indeed. Not sure why, but the Broncos just can't figure it out here in set number 2. After getting a huge win, 25-22 in set number 1, the Lake of the Woods Bears have responded in a huge way, and now the Broncos need to have their own response. Piper over to the Broncos side. Whitbeck receives. That's going to be set up for Basaraba. Now it's going to be Luchek over the net. Skrine over to Whitbeck. Off the top of the net. Somehow a dive by Ava Hack keeps it in play. And that leads to the Lake of the Woods is able to send it back over the net. Grasshorn passes it over. Now that's going to be Holand over to Luchek. Over to Piper. Off hit. Now Grasshorn sends it over. That's received by Sophie Block. Sets it up. That's Hack with the attempt. Low dig by Grasshorn. Kokesh over to Koenig, who runs up. And that's going to be blocked by Ava Hack. Ava Hack has been a big component on the defense for Lake of the Woods as they now extend to a 22-6 lead on the PCA scoreboard. Serving is Sophie Block. And it looks like the referee had a quick talk with the student section that came along all the way from Lake of the Woods. It's a nice hour 15-minute drive, depending on how fast you're driving. I won't say anything other than that, except the fact that Chesley Skrine gets a kill to try and end this momentum that Lake of the Woods Bears have on their side so late in the game, smashing it at the libero, Sophie Block, in order to get the point for the Broncos. 22-7 on the PCA scoreboard. Serving is number 16, Charlie Swanson. Swanson serve. That goes beeline straight to Bowman. They're going to set it up for Hack, but that's going to be off the net. So now it's 22-8. Broncos are currently down still by 14. Or excuse me. Yep, 14. My math is correct. Charlie Swanson with the serve. Down by 14. Broncos, it's going to be, I know it's a huge ask, but it's a huge rally that's needed. But that's going to be denied by Ava Hack, who runs up and gets the kill for the Lake of the Woods Bears. And now we're going to get a substitution coming into the game. Number 7, Jordan Matthias, subbed in for number 8, Hallie Holland. Serve by Luchek. Swanson sets it up for Skrine, who sets it over. Now it's going to be the Lake of the Woods Bears, who they set it up for Matthias, received by Kokesh. Swanson over to Grasshorn. Grasshorn sends it to the back row. That's Bowman. Matthias trying to send it into the middle pocket of the Broncos. No good. And they're going to say that's 4 hits for the Broncos. And that's going to be a point. This is set point for the Lake of the Woods Bears. 24-8 on the PCA scoreboard. Serving and hoping to get that set point is Danica Luchek. Koenig to receive. Swanson over to Skrine, and that's off the net, and that's a point. And Lake of the Woods Bears dominate in the set that follows. And they tie it up 1-1 in sets against the International Falls Broncos. We're going to get ready for set number 3 incoming, and we have a tied game 1-1 after Lake of the Woods Bears dominate the second set 25-8. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM as well as on YourLiveEvent.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
You're also watching on YourLiveEvent.com. Hey, thank you for tuning in live from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box. Start your voyage at the Rainy River campus. Your future awaits you right here in your own backyard. Rainy River, Minnesota North College, 218-598-9300. Excuse me. Tied game here, 1-1 in sets after a very dominant 25-8 win of set number 2 by the Lake of the Woods Bears. Broncos took the first set, 25-22, a close one where Lake of the Woods kept trying to climb back. And now Broncos first to serve. It's Charlie Swanson who's going to start things off for her team. And looking to get a clean slate after the previous set where just nothing seemed to be going their way. That's Basaraba, tipped by the blockers. Luchek sets it up. That's Matthias, blocked by the Broncos. And somehow Lake of the Woods keeps it in play. Never mind. That leads to a point by the Broncos after a miscommunication among the Lake of the Woods Bears, and so Broncos are going to shed first blood. 1-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard. Thank you, Packaging Corporation of America, for being our scoreboard sponsor. Thank you also to Service Master for sponsoring every single timeout. And, of course, we have our post-game award winners as Matthias bumps it over. Swanson sets it up. That's Grasshorn having to readjust real quick. Now Sophie Block sends it to the Broncos side. That's number 2, Neva Kokesh. Swanson over to Basaraba. Blocked but kept in the air by Matthias, and they're going to say that was foul against Lake of the Woods. So Broncos get another point. Now 2-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard. As I was saying, we have our post-game player award sponsors such as Enbridge, who sponsors our Energy Player of the Game. Serve by Swanson. That's number 1. Luchek over to Matthias, and Matthias gets a kill, bouncing it off of the fingers of the 2 blockers that were in her way, and now she gets herself a kill. So 2-1 lead for the Broncos, and that's going to make it 3-1 after the serve by Kaylee Piper goes off the net. So Broncos back up by 2. So 3-1 lead for the Broncos on the PCA scoreboard. Serving is Lauren Basaraba. And back and forth. I thought the back and forth between the two teams was pretty thrilling, but we got a back and forth going on between the 2 student sections. And Broncos get the point after the bump by the Lake of the Woods Bears. Doesn't go over the net, and they have a miscommunication on who gets the receive. So serve by Basaraba. Luchek sets it up. This is going to be number 6, Ava Hack. And almost kept in play by Sophie Block and Bowman. But that's going to be a point for the Broncos now. 5-1 on the PCA scoreboard. I missed who was the last Bronco to touch it, so I can't award them with a kill, but Lauren Basaraba gets a serve. And Lauren Basaraba, I could consider that an ace for Lauren Basaraba, and in fact, I will consider it one. So 6-1 on the PCA scoreboard. Lauren Basaraba hits the net. That's a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, 6-2, as the Lake of the Woods student section that came along for today's game is now chirping at the Industrial Falls student section. Serve is by number 6, Ava Hack, received by Basaraba. Swanson sets it up for Kokesh, gets a running start, and Kokesh gets the kill! Neva Kokesh of the Broncos. She had 2 aces. Now she's got herself her first kill of the night. Believe it or not, that is her first kill of the night. And so Broncos up by 5, 7-2, as Chesley Scrine is back to serve for International Falls. She sends it. That's Sophie Block with the receive. Luchek sets it up for Bowman, who gets a running start. Received by Basaraba. Swanson sends it over. That's received by Sophie Block, who slips on the floor. Hopefully she's okay. Bowman. Broncos keeping it play. Neva Kokesh unable to get the hit over the net. So Lake of the Woods Bears gets the point, 7-3 on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitution. Coming into the game, number 8, Hallie Holen. Coming out of the game, number 7, Jordan Matthias. 7-3 on the PCA scoreboard. Thank you again, Packaging Corporation. Holen with the serve for the Bears. That's number 9, Lauren Basaraba. And that's going to be an ace for Hallie Holen. Lake of the Woods gets the ace thanks to Holen. 7-4 now on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos lead by 3. Basaraba to receive. Swanson sends it over. Kept up in the air by Lake of the Woods. Grasshorn's going to send it right back to them. Now they're going to set it up for Bowman. Bowman with the kill. No good. Kokesh over to Grasshorn. Grasshorn sends it back to the Bears. They're going to set it up again for Bowman. This time she goes for a lighter touch, and that's a point for... Well, never mind. It's a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears. They say it was against 1 Luchek, a possible net foul. So Broncos get the point now, 8-4 on the PCA scoreboard. And speaking of 4, it's number 4, Peyton Grasshorn, who's going to serve for the Broncos. Sophie Block over to Holen. Bowman sends it over. And after Kokesh's bunt ends up rolling on top of the net. That's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods. 8-5 now on the PCA scoreboard. Bowman to serve. Kendall Bowman sends it to Kokesh, and that's going to be Kendall Bowman getting an ace for the Lake of the Woods Bears. She's got 2 aces tonight. That one being her second. Grasshorn, 50-50 ball to Cronin. They're not going to say it's a double hit. Rasmussen sends it over. Piper over to Luchek, back to Piper, but she sends it out of bounds. That's a point for the Broncos now, 9-6. So far, this game, this set hasn't been as much of a blowout as the previous one, and this one's a little bit more of a reflection of set number 1, where it was a lot more back and forth. Rasmussen sends it over. Luchek sets it up. That's number 3, Berggren, able to get it up in the air and over the net. Sophie Block receives the attempt by the Broncos. Bowman's going to send it over. Mara Buller to Grasshorn. Miscommunication. That's going to be 4 hits by the Broncos and a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears. 9-7 now. Lake of the Woods trying to get the possible comeback within reach, but the Broncos have been doing a good job keeping them at arm's reach as Sophie Block, the libero, gets a serve, and the bunt by Rasmussen goes out of bounds. That's a point for the Bears. 9-8 on the PCA scoreboard. Lake of the Woods serving. Sophie Block, the libero. Kokesh to Grasshorn, over to Rasmussen. Blocked, and that's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods to tie it. The block by number 6 and number 1, I believe. I definitely know that number 6, Ava Hack, was in on that because she already has 2 blocks today. Serve by Block. Just wait a second. I think they might be bringing out of town. Nope, there was a substitution for the Broncos, so that point doesn't count. Now, it's the serve for Sophie Block. Ironic that she's a libero, but her last name is Block. You'd think a last name of that would mean she's in the front row, and that's going to be a point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, who takes the point, the lead, 10-9. 10-9 lead for the Bears. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Basaraba, bounced off the blockers. Grasshorn sets it up. This time it's Rasmussen with an attempt, but that's going to be too low. Now it's 11-9 on the PCA scoreboard. Going back to serve is Sophie Block, once again leading the charge and leading the rally for Lake of the Woods. She sends it to the back row. That's Eva Kokesh. Grasshorn over to Eliana Koenig, who gets the point for the Broncos. So now it's 11-10. Eliana Koenig with the point for International Falls, her first point of the game. They send Koenig back to serve for the Broncos, down by 1 on the PCA scoreboard. Luchek sets it up. That's Hack. Bounced off the top of the net, and that's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods and a point for Ava Hack. So now 12-10 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos make a quick substitution, bringing out Koenig. Serve by Luchek. It goes out of bounds, 12-11. Now it's the Broncos on the other end of this, where one team is able to keep the other one out of the lead, but the other one's still trying to climb back. Subbed into the game, Charlie Swanson comes in for Rasmussen. 12-11 on the PCA scoreboard. Swanson with the serve, received by Piper. Attempt by Matthias, kept in play by Kokesh, able to be brought back in by Hack. Now it's Kokesh with an attempt. No good. Lake of the Woods sets it up for Piper. Received by Swanson. Skrine sets it up for Basarabo, who sends it over. That's Block with the dig. Now it's Piper again. That goes out of bounds, though. That's a point for the Broncos. And I guess it's 13-12. I thought it was 12-10, but now it's 13-12. Broncos down by 1 point on the PCA scoreboard with Charlie Swanson serving. And that's going to be off the net. Point for Lake of the Woods. 14-12 on the PCA scoreboard. Serving for Lake of the Woods, number 2, Kaylee Piper. 14-12 lead for the Bears. Swanson sets it up for Grasshorn, who tries to punch it over. That's Luchek, sets it behind her to block over to Bowman. That's off the net. Point for the Broncos. 14-13 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos down by 1 as Lauren Basaraba goes back to serve for International Falls. And, okay, so I was correct. It's 13-all, tied game on the PCA scoreboard. That's Ava Hack with an attempt, blocked by the Broncos. Broncos are able to set it up for Neva Kokesh, who gets the kill and takes the lead for International Falls. So now it's 14-13 in favor of the Broncos. Serving, Lauren Basaraba. Basaraba sends it to Sophie Block, who dives and passes it right back over. And Chesley Skrine over to Charlie Swanson. Swanson able to find the pocket, and that's change in the pocket for Charlie Swanson, getting the point. Broncos up 15-13, and that's going to be a timeout called by head coach Nylander. And her first timeout of the set. And so now 15-13 on the PCA scoreboard, and we're going to get ready for a service master timeout on Lakes Country, 104.1 KSTM.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
Broncos lead in set number 3, 15-13. This is a crucial set for both teams as we are tied 1-1 in sets on the PCA scoreboard. But the Broncos had the lead and are looking to try and take the third set and take a 2-1 lead in what is already looking to be another fifth set wonder as Matthias from the front row slams it down on the Broncos to try and end that momentum. That's her third kill of the day. Lake of the Woods down by 1 on the PCA scoreboard, 15-14 with Ava Hack serving. Mara Buller with the receive goes a little too high, bounces off the ceiling. That's a point for Lake of the Woods and an ace for Ava Hack. So 15-all on the PCA scoreboard. Ava Hack serves. That's Buller with receives, and that's another ace for Hack. 16-15, Lake of the Woods in the lead. Lake of the Woods serves. Basaraba receives. Swanson sets it up for Grasshorn. That's received by Hack. Attempted it over by Bowman. Skrine sends it over. Received by Piper. Luchek over to Matthias. And Matthias once again bringing down the hammer on the Broncos. It's 17-15 now on the PCA scoreboard. Lake of the Woods up by 2. Here on the third homecoming game for the Broncos volleyball team. And not even the third game all time for the Broncos as number 6, Ava Hack, is catching fire from the service line. That's another ace for the Lake of the Woods Bears. Now up by 3, 18-15 on the PCA scoreboard. Hack, she sends it to Basaraba. Chelsea Skrine gets a chance to send it over. Now Luchek sets it up. This time it's Bowman who gets a turn to try and send it over. Kokesh over to Charlie Swanson. Received by Piper. They set it up for Berggren. No good. Swanson sets it up for Kokesh, and that's going to be a point for the Broncos now. So Broncos slow down Lake of the Woods. Quick substitution coming into the game for the Bears is number 4, the libero, Sophie Block. Going back to serve is Chesley Skrine for the Broncos. Quick substitution for the Broncos. Number 5, Cami Cronin, comes into the game for Eliana Koenig, who at first switched with Mara Buller. And almost was an ace, but they're going to say that was double hit, I guess, by Lake of the Woods. So Broncos now bring it within one, 18-17 on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Skrine serves for International Falls. Sophie Block, an amazing dig to send it right back over the net to the Broncos. Neva Kokesh with an attempt. Neva Kokesh with the kill! Broncos now tie it 18-all on the PCA scoreboard here in set number 3. Broncos trying and fighting to get that third set win and take the lead back on the PCA scoreboard. Chesley Skrine, the one leading the charge on the rally by the Broncos. She's going to lob it with the serve. Received, and that's Cami Crone. Then, never mind. They're going to say that was 3 hits for Lake of the Woods, so Broncos having to reset. Can't celebrate it just yet. Now they can celebrate as Peyton Grasshorn sends it over the net for the Broncos and gets the point and the lead 19-18 on the PCA scoreboard in favor of your International Falls Broncos. Chesley Skrine to serve. That is received by Block, sends it right back over. Swanson over to Kokesh. Kokesh blocked, and that goes out of bounds. So Broncos extend now 20-18 on the PCA scoreboard. Skrine once again to serve. They're going to... And that's served by Skrine, goes off the net, so now it's 20-19 on the PCA scoreboard. Quick substitutions on both sides. Chesley Skrine comes out, Marbola goes in, Jordan Matthias comes out, Hallie Holen comes in. 20-19, down by 1. Holen with the serve, received by Basaraba. Swanson sets it up. That's Grasshorn with the kill. Grasshorn takes it right back for the Broncos. Back up by 2. 21-19 on the PCA scoreboard. It's also going to be Grasshorn going back to serve for the Broncos. As also coming into the game after the substitution by the Broncos, number 18, Cameron Rasmussen. She's subbed in for Charlie Swanson. Grasshorn to serve for the Broncos. She sends it back row. That's Sophie Block with the receive. They set it up for Luchek. Dive by Bo that leads to a hit that gets over the net. So this play still goes. That's Luchek over the net. Bowler trying to repeat the same magic. Instead, that leads to a point for Lake of the Woods. So it's 21-20 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos still up by 1, but Lake of the Woods trying to climb back because they're going to sub in number 17, Kate Martin, to come into the game for number 11, Kendall Bowman. Quick discussion, though, with head coach for the Lake of the Woods Bears, Andriana Nylander. And so it's probably a question regarding substitutions, and they get the confirmation. Now Kate Martin goes back to serve for Lake of the Woods, down by 1. Served by Martin. Bowler receives. Grasshorn able to keep it in play. Cami Cronin sends it over. Now they're going to set up. Lake of the Woods gives it to Piper. Piper unable to keep it in play as Peyton Grasshorn dives and sends it over. That's going to be blocked by the Broncos. Attempted by Brooklyn Berggren, but no good. Broncos back up by 2 on the PCA scoreboard. So it is 22-20 in favor of International Falls on the PCA scoreboard with set number 3 on the line between these two teams. Serving is Neva Kokesh, a 2-point lead. Speaking of number 2. That's Berggren setting it up. Piper sends it over. Kokesh over to Grasshorn, back to Kokesh as they send it back to the Bears. Now Luchek sets it up. This is Piper trying to be the deciding factor, but she hesitated a little on her run-up for the kill, and that leads to her only being able to get a bump, and now Broncos are up 23-20, and we're going to get another timeout called by the Lake of the Woods Bears, and that's another timeout brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. For a home professionally cleaned all year round, call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Visit Falls Lumber Company at
Welcome back to the Rainy River Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM. That was a timeout brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. And Broncos are up 23-20 on the PSA scoreboard, looking to try and end this here in the third quarter. That's Hallie Holland who sets it up. Luchek sends it over. Cami Cronin sets it up for Bastraba, who sends it back. Sophie Block receives. Luchek over to Piper. Piper sends it back. Mara Buller gets out of the way. Grasshorn to Kokesh. Broncos can only pass it over. Now that's Luchek trying to go for the kill from the front row. That goes out of bounds. So now it's 24-20. Broncos with set point right here, trying to take the 2-1 lead in sets. Kokesh rallying and leading the Broncos here today. And she sends it. That's received by Piper. That's Holland over to Luchek. Received by Kokesh. Back to Mara Bolu, tries to send it, but they're going to give a point. They say that Bronco reached that, illegal hand posture or whatever the call is called by Bowler on the run-up and kill attempted by Mara Bowler. So it's 24-21, and it's going to take a 3-point run for Lake of the Woods to tie it, 5-point run to take the lead, and a 6-point run to take the win. My math could be a little bit off there. Actually, I think it is off there. So 24-21, Broncos keep it in play. Cami Cronin sets it up. That's Bastraba blocked though. Point for the Lake of the Woods Bears, 24-22. And now 4 points can win it for Lake of the Woods. So I was incorrect earlier on my math. I get used to it though. Sophie Block to serve, trying to rally her team behind her. Mara Buller receives. Grasshorn over to Cronin. Cronin trying to end it. No good. That's Ava Hack who punches it over. Grasshorn over to Bastraba who sends it back. That's Hallie Holland over to Luchek. Sets it up for Hack, and that's out of bounds. Broncos take the point. Broncos take the lead, 1-2. That's another 25-22 set win for the Broncos as they take a 2-1 lead in sets over the Lake of the Woods Bears, visiting here today for the Broncos homecoming week. This is their third homecoming game of this week, and they have been on a gauntlet right now. Two games before this, both going to 5 sets, and now this one could be another one that could go to a 5th set as well. We'll see how the girls handle it as they get ready for set number 4. As on the PCA scoreboard, it is a 2-1 lead for the Broncos in sets. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM, as well as on yourliveevent.com.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the Borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
You are listening to Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as watching on YourLiveEvent.com. We have a fourth set incoming for you guys watching and listening here today. Broncos versus Bears, International Falls versus Lake of the Woods. It is homecoming week for the Broncos, and we've been having a face-off between two scrappy teams, as well as a face-off between two student sections, as Lake of the Woods, as they are the closest teams to each other, outside of Little Fork Big Falls. They were able to actually bring a student section, and that's why we have such a loud and such a fun environment in this gym right now. Serve by Luchek of Lake of the Woods. Broncos trying to shed first blood. They are on the cusp of taking the win today. They do not want to send this one to another fifth set. This will be their third one in straight games, but that's going to be number 7, Jordan Matthias, getting the point and a kill for Lake of the Woods to try and take the first point. And she is one of the leaders on this team. She has 5 kills so far this night. As the serve, once again, by Luchek. Swanson keeps it in play. Mara Bull is the one to send it back over. She gets the pass over. Luchek sets it up. That's Ava Hack. And out of bounds. That's a point for Lake of the Woods. Now they're up to a 2-0 lead on the PCA scoreboard. And shout out to all of our sponsors for today's game. Before the game started, we had our national anthem brought to you by a local VFW, post 2948. And Luchek gets an ace to help extend the lead now to 3-0 on the PCA scoreboard. As you've been hearing, Packaging Corporation of America is your sponsor for every scoreboard update throughout today's contest. Luchek serves. Kokesh to Swanson, sets it up for Skrine. Skrine, they're going to say that's on the line. So that's a point for the Broncos, thanks to Chesney Skrine. So far, Peyton Grasshorn and Eva Kokesh, the two leaders for the Broncos here today in kills. Both of them with, I have Kokesh with 4 and Grasshorn with 5. That's an ace for the Broncos, thanks to Lauren Basaraba. So clutch time to be getting these aces. So 3-2 on the PCA scoreboard now, with Lake of the Woods leading. Basaraba with the serve. That's received by Piper. Luchek sets it up. That's Hack, blocked by the Broncos. Luchek keeps it up in the air. Hack gets another chance. That one's going to be off the net. That's going to be a tied game now, 3-3 on the PCA scoreboard. Also, special shout out to our other sponsor, Surface Master, who sponsors every timeout throughout the contest. This could be our last set of the game unless Lake of the Woods can send it to a 5th. That's Matthias with the attempt. No good. Chesney Skrine sends it over. Matthias receives. Now they're going to set it up for Piper, but that's going to be off the top of the net. Not enough juice and not enough air under it. That's going to point for the Broncos as they take their first lead of set number 3, with Lauren Basaraba serving for the International Falls Broncos. Serve goes on the line. That's an ace for Lauren Basaraba. She's got 3 of them now. So now it is a lead extended for the Broncos, 5-3 on the PCA scoreboard. Lauren Basaraba to serve. Sophie Block receives. Kokesh over to Swanson, sets it up for Grasshorn. That's got off the net, though. That's a point for Lake of the Woods. So Broncos' momentum falls just short as the Lake of the Woods Bears keep it within 1 as they send number 2, Kaylee Piper, over the net. Behind the line. Not bad. Send her over the net. Don't do that. Send the ball over the net, not your teammates. Neva Kokesh sends it over. Luchek over to Matthias. Matthias just out of reach. Sent chasing after that one by her teammate, and so unable to get the correct trajectory to send it back over the net as Chesney Skrine goes back to serve for the Broncos. Serve goes to Piper. Luchek over to Hack. Hack sends it out of bounds. That's a Bronco point. 7-4 now on the PCA scoreboard. I will say, one thing that's nice about today is that it's a little bit cooler in the gym. For both games, both the one here at home against Mesabi East and the one on the road at Ely, we're in very, very hot and stuffy gym environments. So it's a little bit cooler here in Industrial Falls today as Bowman trying to get fired up, sending it over the net, but Broncos send it right back. Now both teams getting fired up as they're going to set it up for Bowman again, tipped by the blocker. Swanson sets it up. That's Kokesh with an attempt, and that's hit by Hack over to Luchek, and Sophie Block sends it over. Now Chesley Skrine, Swanson sets it up for Cronin. Cronin almost gets the point. Bowman able to keep it in the air. Hack trying to send it over. Swanson to Cronin, over to Grasshorn. Dive by Sophie Block, sends it right back to the Broncos. Swanson sets it up. This time it's Kokesh, and Neva Kokesh gets the kill for the Broncos to now extend this lead 8-4 on the PCA scoreboard. Neva Kokesh reaches 5 kills tonight, and the Broncos leading 8-4 as Chesley Skrine serves it. Received by Piper. Kokesh able to keep it in the air after Piper tried to fool them. Matthias off the net. That's going to be 4 hits against Lake of the Woods. Broncos now up by 5, 9-4. Off hit by Matthias. Frustration by Lake of the Woods side perhaps. Unsure. We'll see how they try and recalibrate and refocus. Chesley Skrine tried to lob it over the net, but that ended up being just too short off the net, so that's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods. Broncos slow down their own momentum. 9-5 now on the PCA scoreboard. Hey, if you're a Dolly Parton fan, then you're going to love this scoreboard. Brought to you by Packaging Corporation of America. Serving is Ava Hack of Lake of the Woods. She tries to hack it at the Broncos. Attempt by Bowman, hits the net. Broncos take it right back. Now 10-5. Broncos lead by 5. Cameron Rasmussen subbed into the game for Charlie Swanson. Rasmussen goes to the front row, and Peyton Grasshorn, she goes behind the line to serve. Peyton Grasshorn, one of the leaders for the Bronco here today. That's received by Sophie Block, and that's going to be an ace for Grasshorn. So 11-5 on the PCA scoreboard. Peyton Grasshorn back to serve for International Falls. Grasshorn to Piper, over to Luchek, sets it up for Bowman. Bowman with the kill, goes out of bounds. That's a point for the Broncos. They are on a roll, and they keep rolling, 12-5. And we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Nylander of the Lake of the Woods Bears. And Broncos up by 7 in set number 4. Broncos trying to close this one out, their final game of homecoming week. And so we're going to take a quick break with this Service Master timeout. You're listening and watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM and YourLiveEvent.com.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
Welcome back to the Rainy River, Minnesota North College press box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. As the back and forth between the Broncos and the Bears continue, we also have the back and forth between the two student sections here. And man, this is the kind of environment that I love for these high school games. Broncos serving is Peyton Grasshorn. She has been one of the big leaders for International Falls in scoring. Matthias trying to keep it in play, diving into the crowd, and her efforts do not go wasted as the Lake of the Woods Bears are able to send it over. Now sent over by Bowman. Lake of the Woods almost able to avoid disaster once more, but Bowman's attempt goes off the net. Broncos now up by 8. 13-5 on the PCA scoreboard. Subbed into the game is number 17 for Lake of the Woods, Kate Martin. Subbed in for Bowman. Serving is Grasshorn. That's received by Block. Luchek over to Matthias. Matthias, she gets the point. Now she gets out of her rut. Jordan Matthias, another leader for the team. She's leading Lake of the Woods in kills with 5 of them tonight. So 13-6, Lake of the Woods Bears needing a huge rally led by Hallie Holland. Broncos receive. Grasshorn over to Cronin. She sends it over the back line. That's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods. 13-6 now on the PCA scoreboard. Serve by Holland. And that's going to be a point for the Broncos as that goes out of bounds. So now it's 14-7 on the PCA scoreboard. And Lake of the Woods trailing still. Their rally unable to succeed. Broncos have Neva Kokesh back to serve. She's going to send it. Deep dig dive by Block. Great effort, but that goes out of reach of her teammate Holland, who tries to go for it. So that's going to be a point for the Broncos and an ace for Neva Kokesh. Kokesh and Basaraba tie each other for aces. And that's going to be another point for the Broncos. Now 16-7, Broncos trying to dominate to get this 4-set win. They are leading 2-1. And so they do not want to have to go into another 5th set match here today. And I don't fully blame them either, because those can get tiring after the 3rd one. Lauren Basaraba able to send it back over. Luchek, she's going to set it up. That's Berggren able to get the hit. Now Grasshorn sets it up. This is Basaraba once more. Dive by number 2. And that was attempted by Kate Martin. Grasshorn over to Basaraba, sent over by Luchek. Marbuller, Grasshorn. That's Cami Cronin. She sends it over the back line. That's out of bounds, and that's a point for Lake of the Woods. So now it is Broncos leading by 8, 16-8, with Kate Martin to serve for the Lake of the Woods Bears. Broncos set it up. That's Rasmussen who sends it over. Kate Martin receives. Luchek trying to find the pocket. No good. Grasshorn sets it up for Cronin. Bounces off the top of the net. Received by Holland. And now that's Piper who sends it over. Cronin sets it up. That's Basaraba. Received by Block. Kate Martin keeps it in play. And Berggren able to punch it over. Dive by Kokesh. And somehow Broncos able to get it over the net. That's Rasmussen. Luchek sends it over. Dive by Grasshorn off the ceiling. Basaraba to Rasmussen, who sends it over. Kate Martin to Luchek. Sets it up. That's Berggren. Sends it over. Received by Grasshorn. Cami Cronin over to Rasmussen again. And that's Rasmussen with the point for the Broncos. 17-8 now on the PCA scoreboard, and what an exciting match this has been between these two teams. And so, quick substitution coming into the game is Kendall Bowman of Lake of the Woods. Serve by Cronin. That's Luchek over to Piper. Grasshorn sets it up. Skrine over to Rasmussen. Rasmussen sends it across. Piper to Luchek. Sets it back up for Piper. She's going to send it over the back line. Broncos now up by 10. 18-8 on the PCA scoreboard. Broncos are 18-19. I was going to say it's 18-8. And that goes out of bounds. So that's a point for Lake of the Woods. Lake of the Woods trying to slow the Broncos down. They have all the momentum, though, 18-9, with Sophie Block back to serve for the Lake of the Woods Bears. Grasshorn over to Basaraba, out of bounds. That's a point for Lake of the Woods, 18-10. And giving up a lead here would be devastating, as that would send it into another 5th set thriller for the Broncos. Chessie Skrine sends it out of bounds as well. That's going to be another point. Now it's 18-11 on the PCA scoreboard. Kokesh over to Grasshorn, sets it up for Skrine. Skrine able to get it over the net. That's Piper to Luchek. Now that's number 6, Ava Hack, able to get it over. Broncos send it right back to them, though. Now Hack with another attempt, and that's going to be out of bounds. Ava Hack gets the point. Now it's 18-12. And now Lake of the Woods Bears trying to complete their comeback. Grasshorn sets it up. That's going to be Mara Buller sending it over. Sophie Block over to Luchek, sets it up for Piper, blocked by the Broncos, and that's out of bounds. That's another point for Lake of the Woods, 18-13 now. Sophie Block trying to complete the rally, trying to complete the comeback. This is going to be a huge comeback. They were down by 10. Mara Buller sends it over. Low dig by Holland. Holland sets it up for Piper. Piper able to get over. Rasmussen dives. Skrine over to Grasshorn. Now it's Luchek, sets it up. Hack with the kill. Hack tipped by Mara Buller and out of bounds. Ava Hack helping the team come back, and now we're going to get a timeout. This called by the International Falls Broncos. Went from a 10-point lead, now a 4-point lead, and Lake of the Woods serve. And so this timeout brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. For a home professionally cleaned all year round, call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Or at minnesotanorth.edu.
Welcome back to the Rainy River Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSTM. Broncos lead 18-14 on the PCA scoreboard, trying to end this one in 4 and not allow a comeback. A 10-point comeback at this is what it would be if Lake of the Woods can indeed tie it up. Serve by Sophie Block. Grasshorn sets it up. That's Rasmussen sending it over. Block with the receive. Luchek sets it up. That's Hack. Sends it to the back row. Neva Kokish receives. Grasshorn over to Basaraba. Sends it back. That's Bowman to Luchek. Sets it up for Piper. Piper to the back row. Kokesh receives. Grasshorn sets it up for Rasmussen. And that's going to be received by Block. Now Holland sets it up. That's going to be 50-50 bump over. Now Rasmussen blocked and kept in play by Holland. Luch over to Hack. Out of bounds, though. Trying to aim for that back corner. Broncos take it right back now. 19-14. Broncos up by 5 on the PCA scoreboard. Serving, Charlie Swanson for the Broncos. Up by 5. That goes out of bounds. And that's not the kind of errors you want to have here late game when a team is trying to force a 5th set against you. Danica Luchek to serve, subbed into the game, number 7, Jordan Matthias of Lake of the Woods. Luchek to Kokesh to receive. Grasshorn brings it over to Swanson, who sends it back to the Lake of the Woods Bears. They set it up for Hack, and they're going to say that's a net error by the Bears of Lake of the Woods. And so now it's 20-15. Broncos up by 5. Lauren Basaraba, she's one of the leaders in kills today. And she has 3 of them, looking to extend it and help try and set her team up for success. But Ava Hack able to send it over. They're going to say that's another net error against Lake of the Woods. They said that was against Piper. Lauren Basaraba with the serve, 21-15 on the PCA scoreboard. Basaraba looking at a possible ace. She gets it. That's a 22-15 lead for the Broncos. So close to ending it here in set number 4. Lauren Basaraba leading the charge for the Broncos. Quick time for a substitution. They bring in number 12, Addison Olsen, into the game. She's subbed in for Brooklyn Berggren. That is received by Olsen. Matthias with a kill. That goes out of bounds. Broncos now 23-15 lead against the Lake of the Woods Bears. Too much power behind that, and we will indeed get a timeout. This is the last timeout for Lake of the Woods head coach Nylander. And so an 8-point lead for the Broncos. They almost gave up a 10-point lead. And so far they're keeping it at 5. As we get ready, 23-15. And this timeout brought to you by Service Master of International Falls. For a home professionally cleaned all year round, call Service Master at 218-283-4475. Todd and Gretchen are going to take great care of you. Make sure you stay tuned for after the game when we have our post-game player awards, such as our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. That goes to the player with the most exciting and energetic and energizing play of the game. And then, of course, we have our Domino's Pizza Player of the Game, which goes to the game MVP. Lauren Basaraba to serve for the Broncos. Basaraba, she has 4 aces to lead the team. Danica Luchek over to number 6. That's Hack. Kokesh off the net. That's a point for Lake of the Woods. 23-16 now. Lake of the Woods trying to start another rally. They send Kaylee Piper, back to serve for Lake of the Woods. Sends it to Grasshorn. That's Swanson. Sets up for Kokesh, who gets blocked. That goes unable to recover. So now it's 23-17. Broncos lead by 6. Lake of the Woods trying to climb back, though. Piper to serve. She sends it to Basaraba. Now that's Swanson. Sets up for Skrine. Skrine able to get the point for the Broncos. And just like that, this is match point right here. Chesney Skrine has it in her hands. She got the kill. Now she's going to be the one to serve for the Broncos. Only appropriate, 24-17, lead for the Broncos. Dive by Luchek to keep it in play. Bowman sends it over the net. Now Cami Cronin sets it up. That's Grasshorn with an attempt. Off the net, that's going to be no good. 4 hits, and that's going to be a point for Lake of the Woods. They, so far, slowed down the Broncos and their efforts, but we're going to get a quick substitution. Brooklyn Bergeron comes into the game, back to serve. Ava Hack to lead the charge in a possible comeback for Lake of the Woods. That's a low serve, and Matthias almost able to get it over, and that's going to be Matthias getting the point for the Lake of the Woods Bears. She is the leader for this team in kills. So 24-19 on the PCA scoreboard. A 5-point lead now. And that's going to be out of bounds, and the International Falls Broncos win it in 4. Final score of set number 4, 25-19. And the International Falls Broncos are going to win their 3rd game of homecoming. They go 2-1 this week, 2-1 this week. 2 5-set thrillers, and this one almost being the 3rd, but the Broncos decided, you know what, we're tired of 5 sets. Let's end it in 4. And the scary moment there when they thought that they were going to come back, but the Broncos get the job done to take the win here. Final score after 4, 25-22, 25-8, 25-22, 25-19. Broncos win it 3-1 against the Lake of the Woods Bears. What an effort, though, by the Lake of the Woods Bears, led by Ava Hack, Jordan Matthias, Kaylee Piper, and Danica Luchek. And what a game this was between these two teams, and what a way for the Broncos to wrap up their trilogy of homecoming games. And now, up next, we got the big homecoming football game tomorrow night. Broncos kicking off against the Aitkin Gobblers. But before that, we have all our other homecoming events happening, such as the homecoming parade, and then after that, and of course, the homecoming tailgate party happening before the game tomorrow. But for now, let's celebrate the Broncos volleyball team and their amazing win today. Again, in 4 sets, 3-1 Broncos. They are now starting themselves a hot streak here today. So we're going to get ready for our post-game show. You are listening and watching on Lakes Country, 104.1 KSDM from the Rainy River, Minnesota North College Press Box. Thank you to Packaging Corporation of America for sponsoring our scoreboard updates, and to Service Master of International Falls for sponsoring every timeout in today's contest.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real, because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Very special welcome to those of you watching on Lakes Country 104.1 KCM and YourLiveEvent.com. Broncos take it in 4 sets, 3-1 against the Lake of the Woods Bears visiting today. Their third game of homecoming week, and they were able to end it on a high note here with the win against Lake of the Woods. And so let's look at some of the stat leads before we get into our continued post-game show as some of our leaders for today. Peyton Grasshorn and Neva Kokish tied 5 kills each. Neva Kokish took the edge with 3 aces, but Lauren Bastrava would lead the team with 4 aces today and 2 kills. And Chesley Scriber chipped in with 3 kills. Each of them coming in at the most opportune time that benefited the team the most. Some other contributors for the win today: Cameron Cronin getting 2 kills, Charlie Swanson getting an ace and a kill, and all around a huge effort by this Broncos team to come out with a win today. And so what a game this was indeed. What a way to wrap up homecoming week for the volleyball team. But it's not over yet, because we do have our football game tomorrow. But before that, let's talk about Lake of the Woods and some of their stat leaders, because they were led heavily by Ava Hack, who had 4 aces and 4 kills and a couple of blocks to add on to that. That's the ketchup to that burger right there. And Jordan Mathias, she had 5 kills to lead the team in kills. And so those were 2 big leaders for the team. Another big leader would be Kendall Bowman, as well as Kaylee Piper and Danica Luchek with multiple assists for the team to help try and fight back in this one. For a second, it looked like they were about to force another 5th set thriller for the Broncos here today. And so those are our stat leaders, so get ready for our upcoming post-game show. I don't know why the football team's looking up at me and pointing at them. They're not the players of the game. So we're going to get ready to have an interview with our 2 players of the game, brought to you by Enbridge Incorporated and by Domino's Pizza.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Employees at Packaging Corporation of America have been producing quality paper for over a century. We understand our responsibility to the community, and we're honored to support the many needs and events occurring in the borderland. From providing donations to local schools and events, to supporting organizations meeting physical needs in our community, Packaging Corporation of America does more than make paper. We make a difference.
The unique strengths of Rainy River lie in the fact that you're going to be supported by faculty and staff, and you're going to be supported by the community.
You know, all the professors by name, they all know you by name. We're not just a number, like we actually have a face to the name, which is honestly pretty good. I like it. I'm known, everybody else is known in the school. It makes it feel more comfortable to be here, especially being so far away from home.
Fall is a busy season for local businesses. New projects, fresh goals, and big ideas. At TrueStar, we understand what it takes to grow something real because we're right here with you. I'm Ryan Tamevi with TrueStar. Whether you're expanding your shop, upgrading equipment, or planning ahead, we're here to help you move forward with a business loan that fits. TrueStar Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Follow us on social media.
Ready to ride into fall? Hi, this is Tony Skifstrom at Border Bank. Whether it's an ATV for backwoods thrills or a truck built for bonfire season, Border Bank makes it easy to gear up with a consumer loan that fits your lifestyle. Fast decisions, competitive rates, hometown service that goes the extra mile. So don't just rake leaves, run them over. Apply today at borderbank.com or come visit with me at the bank. Border Bank, customer first, community focused. Member FDIC.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Falls Lumber Company. I'm new to the company, though not to the industry. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen or bathroom, stop in and see me in the Design Center. I can help you pick out the perfect cabinets or countertops from brands such as Crystal Cabinets, Cambria, Corian, and Silestone. If you're in need of flooring, we have options including luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, engineered hardwood, and tile. Stop into the Design Center to see me anytime. When you're looking to build or remodel, come to the experts at Falls Lumber Company, 201 4th Street in International Falls.
Welcome back to the Rainy River Minnesota North College Press Box on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM. Joining me here today are obviously a couple of Broncos coming off of a huge 4-set win here today. And so your first two games for this homecoming week went to 5 sets. And so when it got to that 4th set, were you guys thinking, man, I'm getting sick of 5 sets today?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
It gets old.
It gets very old.
And so how big of a win is this over Lake of the Woods?
Huge. Like we haven't beat
really
them in
big.
so long. It's been insane.
And so what was probably the biggest contributor to you guys being able to get a win over Lake of the Woods today?
Probably just how well we work together as a team and how we always
stayed
cheer
positive.
people up.
Do you think it being homecoming week has kind of helped with that? Or because I know homecoming week keeps you guys busy, has a lot going on. So how have you tried to stay focused despite all the activities going on?
Yeah.
I think you just have to push yourself, honestly. It's been a really tough week.
You have to get rest. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely a challenge, but
it's more mental than it is physical.
Yeah.
And so had a lot of really big moments throughout that game, of course. A lot of big plays that happen, a lot of big opportunities, big rallies as well. What was probably, in your opinion, the most memorable one from the game?
I don't. Probably one of the ones when Mara goes and saves the ball, and then and then
those
it
are
goes
probably
over
the
net.
best ones when we,
And so now with the homecoming dance this weekend and, of course, the parade tomorrow, what is it that you've been most looking forward to for homecoming?
Probably the homecoming dance because it's super fun and we all get to be together.
It's fun.
I want to wish you guys the very best of luck as the season goes on. Have a lot of fun. Have a very safe homecoming this weekend. And once again, congratulations on a huge win over Lake of the Woods here today. And so thank you again for joining me here. And thank you to everyone. Any special shout outs you guys want to give out before we end the broadcast? That seems like a no. That's okay.
We love our team.
Yeah, we love our team and our coaches, Tennyson and Aaron.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again for joining me, and you're free to go. Thank you again. And this has been our live broadcast of Broncos Varsity Volleyball on Lakes Country 104.1 KSDM, as well as on YourLiveEvent.com. Stay tuned for tomorrow's live broadcast of the Broncos football team in their homecoming matchup against Aitken.